This video will show you how to use the CALC option. Specifically, the third and fourth options in the Calculate menu are minimum and maximum, respectively. Once you have inputted the function into the calculator, the minimum option allows you to find the minimum value coordinate for the function, and the maximum option allows you to find the maximum value coordinate for the function. For example number 1, we would like to find the coordinate of the minimum value for the quadratic function y is equal to 2x squared plus 3x subtract 1. So let's go to the input function key, which is right here, y equals, and let's input the function 2x squared plus 3x subtract 1. And let's graph that. So here's our parabola, and then right here is our minimum value. Okay? So let's go to second function and calc, and we want the minimum value, so number 3. Now notice here that it has the cursor flashing right here, and it shows you the function in which the cursor is flashing on, and here are the coordinates of the cursor. Okay, so it's asking for a left bound. So the left bound means go to the left of the minimum value. So let's move to the left of the minimum value. And of course, this part of the parabola is called the vertex, so we need to move to the left of the vertex. And now we can select Enter. Now it says right bound, so we can move to the right of the minimum value or to the right of the vertex. And there we are. Select Enter. And for guess, we select Enter. And there's our minimum. So the coordinate is negative 0.75, negative 2.125. Okay, that's our minimum value, or the vertex of the parabola. We'll go to example 2, but first let's clear out the function. So select y equals, clear. Second function quit. Okay, so example number 2, we would like to find the coordinates of the maximum and minimum value for the cubic function y equals x cubed subtract 8x squared plus 9x plus 6. So let's input that function. Y is equal to x cubed minus 8x squared plus 9x plus 6. Okay, and we can graph this. So here's our cubic function. Looks like that. And down here, the minimum value cannot be seen. So we need to change the viewing window and change the y min. So let's change that to negative 20. And select Graph. So that wasn't quite enough, so let's go back to Window and change it to negative 30. And let's increase the y max to 20 and change the scale to 2. Now let's graph it. Okay, that's a good view of the cubic function. So here's our maximum value, and here's the minimum value. So let's go into the second function and calc option, and here's the calculate menu. So let's find the maximum, number 4. So let's select 4. Now again, here's the function that the cursor is on, and the coordinates of where the cursor is at. And then it's asking us to select the left bound. So the left bound is to the left of our maximum value. Here's our maximum value. So the cursor is already to the left of the maximum value. So we can select enter. Then it says right bound. So let's move to the right. And before we do that, notice when we selected the left bound, it put a little arrow there. And so let's move to the right for the right bound. Okay, so we need to move to the right of the maximum value. So the cursor is to the right of that maximum value. And let's select enter. So there it put another arrow. So between these arrows is the maximum value. So we don't want to guess what the maximum value is, so we'll just select enter. And it tells us that our maximum value occurs at x equals 0.639 and y equals 8.745. So the coordinate is 0.639, 8.745. Okay, now we would like to find the minimum value for this particular function. So we'd go second function calc. Number 3 is minimum. And we want to go to the left bound of the minimum. So let's go to the left of the minimum value. That's fine right there. Let's select enter. Now move to the right of the minimum value. And that's fine. Select enter. Okay, so the minimum value occurs between these two arrows. So right there is our minimum value. And we do not want to guess what the minimum value is, so just select enter. Okay, it gives us a minimum value of 4.694 and negative 24.597. That's our coordinate. This concludes the video on the calc maximum and minimum option, which allows you to find the maximum or minimum value for a particular function.